Hi, I'm Vador with Palladio Garden, and I'm going to teach you how to do some container gardens today. One of the most common questions I get is, what type of container can I use? My answer is you can use any container that will hold your plant up. Now, one thing that's important is if you're going to plant directly into the container, if you're going to use soil and then put your plant in, it needs to have a hole in the bottom. In this case, I'm wanting to put a poinsettia in here. Now, I'm not going to plant it in the dirt because I only want it to be for seasonal. Now, if I just set the poinsettia in here, it doesn't look right. You kind of think it looks right, but not so much. But what you do to make it easy is first we're going to take a saucer because we don't want to water the poinsettia and have it drain out because this is going to be an indoor plant. And if it drains out on your carpet or on your counter, that's definitely issues. So you put your saucer in there. Well, no, wait, actually, I want it to be a little bit higher because I want you to be able to see the foliage and everything. So I'm just going to use some filler. This is stuff that when we get our fountains in, it's packed in this, but it works perfect to raise the level of a plant. So I'll put the filler in there, and I'll put the saucer in there so it's not going to drain out everywhere. And then I've set the plant in there, and it's sitting up a little higher. So it's not going to matter if you bring it indoors and put it on the counter because you've got a saucer in the bottom and it can't drain out on everything. Now, if you wanted to plant it in here, don't do the saucer, don't do this. Just add some good indoor potting soil, and then you can plant your poinsettia in there. Also, just look around the house and see what you have. These right here are to start seeds in, but it can also hold plants. It doesn't have to have any special things to hold a plant. No holes in the bottom, so I'm not going to put dirt in there. I'm just going to set the plant in there in its original container. Now, when you're doing this is just for looks for maybe a couple of months because eventually it's going to grow out of this container. So this is just like a short time look, and you can just place your plants in there, and then when you water, just keep the soil moist, but don't let this fill up with water because your plants don't like to sit in water. Now, if you want to do a combination container, let's take this pretty green one here. No holes in the bottom, so this can come in the house. It can sit on your kitchen counter, windowsill, mantle, anywhere with a lot of light. And if you don't have light, get a grow light. Grow lights are absolutely the lifesaver for your houseplant, so get a grow light. So here, I'm not going to use any saucers, no filler. I'm just going to set this in here, use it for some height. Then I'm going to use a white cyclamen, put it in there. So you kind of want to have some height and then some filler. I love this poinsettia. It's going to look great with it, but see how tiny it is? It's a miniature poinsettia, but I like the way that it fits, the bracts fit with the size of the plant. But if I set it in there, it's sitting too low. So again, it's okay to add some filler next to the other plants. It's not going to cause a problem. We're staging it, so to speak. So I'm just going to stick that filler in there and then prop that poinsettia up on there, and you're set. And you could do something fun like adding a pine cone, or you can just add another plant with height down there. See how it's just instant beauty, instant beauty. And this way you don't have to match your plant's watering needs together. You can actually pick the plants you like and put them together because you're gonna have to water each individual plant. Now, to dress it, we've got moss. There's all kinds of moss. It's beautiful to use. Just take it, just fill it in around the top. That'll keep your plants moist. One thing to watch for though is, see back in here, if I pile the moss up really high around the back, that's going to cause a rotting situation. So make sure the moss is low, just right over the top of the planter. That dresses it up. This could stay like this. You know, some people can make them stay like this for like 6 months or so, but remember they're in little containers, so eventually you're going to want to take each one out and replant it into another pot. Now when you replant, if you've got one that's this size, you're only going to want to go up to the next size container, because if you take a plant this size and put it in something this big, houseplants aren't going to like that. Plus it doesn't look that good either. And then something that's really fun and easy to do are bulbs, these amaryllis bulbs. It's already blooming and it's not even in soil, but you can plant them in rocks. Just simple rocks. There's no hole in the bottom of this. I'm just going to set the bulb in there, fill it in with rocks. And these rocks I just scooped up from outside. You've got an instant look. Now again, there's no hole in the bottom, so you can add water, but don't fill it up. And you can check it by leaning it sideways, and if water pours out, then you've got a little too much, so dump some water out. And if you wanted to dress it up more, you can add moss around the sides. And so making your containers don't have to be that hard. You just pick something that you like and keep in mind the drainage holes and the type of soil that you're using.